Yeah. Get ready to get things fired up.
They don't need the bumper music.
Yeah. Well, for everybody watching later on, instead of just skipping ahead to the
This is
to the
Isabel.
end.
She's here. She showed up.
Yay! There she is.
All right.
Put her on the end because she's eye candy beside
You
you.
never treated me like that.
You never walked in like that.
How you doing?
Hey, this is Nick Myers.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Good to see you again. How are you?
So,
Okay, there-
before we go live,
Yes.
what we were
Well, we
talking
are
about-
live, actually.
Okay, I got
So,
you.
yeah.
On YouTube.
But before we go live on the radio, we can get the upwelling conversation out of the way because we don't want to bore 1440 and 98.7. Yeah,
Oh, I'm
right?
bringing it up. That's yeah.
So, are you guys watching the upwelling, the seasonal upwelling that occurs every year? We get this cold water, right? So once we get the nearshore currents going from south to north on a steady progression, it pulls in that dirty cold water from the bottom along the nearshore shelf, and it trains from Tampico all the way up to about Port Aransas before it dies offshore. It's cold. It's dirty. It brings up a lot of tar. It brings up that
Terrible.
nasty weed. It's horrible stuff. So,
Actually, the Sargasso has been a lot lighter
uh-huh.
since we've
Yeah.
had that
Come
problem.
Yeah, scoot all the way up.
Yeah.
You
So,
got to eat them
you know,
like. Yeah.
Since that continues to be dirty, and then I was thinking this morning, normally we see more Sargasso when we've got northerly currents from the north.
Right.
That's when that tends to be on the beach, where it's been consistently from the south.
Right.
Ever since, and there was another point of interest. I was south on Sunday,
underneath.
down at the 55.
Yeah.
And there's a definite temperature change to what we've got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing, Oz gave me a report about a week ago saying that the water tasted fresher, like less salt. So that's why I put a request to Lily that I'm going to start doing salinity and pH tests every day.
And your meter is on, your salinity refrac is on the way. It's already been ordered.
Awesome. Thank
Yes,
you.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Because I'm interested to see if the species change with salinity.
I figured even if we're talking about bad news, but we got some beautiful music in the
I
background.
can hear it, yeah. Whose funeral is it?
So we're back.
Exactly.
He loved fishing.
So we've got some rains recently, and obviously, that water table gets up high in the
Right.
island, and then that seeps out through the sand, so we have some fresher water near shore, right?
I'll tell you what's good. We
Isabel.
did that podcast on El Nino
Yes,
just at the right time.
we did.
We were the first ones out.
You need to go back and watch that. Nick
It
and
was-
I, Nick and Lily and I did a podcast on El Nino, and we talked about all kinds of currents and other things. And I was drinking rum at the time. Nick bought me a bottle of rum.
Did good.
And so the podcast gets a lot more interesting towards the end. Jeez.
I see you got the Willie's concoction too.
Yes. I tried it last night. It's very
It's
relaxing.
very good.
Yeah.
There
Good
he
old
is.
Willie.
Yeah, quitter. You can go over here. You have to. You can't pull on it.
How you doing?
You have to go eat. That one. You know how to do that.
Right, so we're going to do a couple of segments with Isabel Tiller. This is Isabel Tiller. She is a researcher at the Center for Sports Science, and we're going to talk about tarpon and snook and freshwater inflows, but just barely about freshwater inflows for a couple of segments, and then you guys can talk about.
And we'll dive in.
About how
Yeah.
we're dying of flood.
All your
now.
stuff.
We can't come to Texas because it's not good to drop because it's too flooded. Pretty much.
So, after another couple of weeks, that upwelling should train out of the system, and then we can get back to normal.
I don't think I've remembered it being this prolific. In
I don't
all
remember
the
being
years I've been.
into July so much.
It's just
Usually always
consistent.
June.
Normally when I hit the beach and the driving's bad and the water looks good, I'll go all the way.
Yeah,
This is both terrible.
yeah.
I mean,
Right.
driving is a nightmare. The water clarity is awful.
Right.
So, it's,
Kevin remembers he used to have the blue water kayak tournament. Remember that back in the day?
yes.
Yeah.
Offshore guys when they actually still paddled their kayaks.
Yeah.
You
in
didn't
them
pedal?
days.
No, we pedaled.
Back when there was
Oh, I
paddling.
pedaled, yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, you had a
Yeah.
Hobie?
I had a Hobie, yeah.
Them boys, I see them right out there on them reefs. It's good when I go out there. Where do you
Hey, we got a
actually
freshie.
do your research? Locally?
You look resplendent
do
in
look
pink
really
today.
We'll get to that in.
We're on live on YouTube, so you can't say
3
it.
minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
We don't want to reiterate everything.
Which
They're
is
doing
more
this-
interesting than you.
Yeah,
She is.
we
I
say
know,
the best
and she
stuff
needs to-
offline, and we forget about
They're
it
doing
later.
a news
like, yeah.
update right now.
And she needs to scoot up too.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
You know, Nick, going back to the upwelling, last couple of years seems like up in August we've seen a big upwelling too. The last 2-3 years, first week of August.
It's
been,
usually June and the first part of July. If
Yeah.
you go back and check your records,
Yeah, we normally, yeah.
June.
Yeah, normally,
July.
but the
And then
last 2
by-
years, because
it's-
I've gone on my, I
Normally
always
you
go
get
down
a
there on my
break.
birthday.
You get a
Right.
break in it.
Yeah.
But this is consistent all the way down.
And then you get,
It was the late season fronts that we got.
Okay.
and then you
That
get the
slowed it
sargassum.
down.
We used to be
Right.
heaviest in April and May.
Right.
And that changed. Why? Because of the currents. The loop current broke apart because why? El Nino.
Aha.
Aha. Right.
Love that.
What about
Super
this?
El
What
Nino.
about the Saharan dust and the tendency for the
That-
iron deposit to cause the unthinkable?
That stuff is
Hey,
killing my
Brevis.
sinuses. We're getting a double whammy of the sugarcane fires from the Yucatan
Right.
and the Saharan dust is both converging right here.
Okay.
It's
they're
a
getting,
horrible place to have ours.
Philly and New York are getting bad haze from storms up in Canada.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
like
yeah.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
think they
all
had global climate change up in Canada.
They
We're
got it.
supposed to.
They've
It's our
got it.
fault, though. I
It's,
think.
yeah.
All their smoke is coming this way, and Trump's put a tariff on it.
With a filter.
Anyhow, the fishing has been not very good. I mean, unless you want gaff tops.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Oh,
so
yeah.
many in my life.
So
I saw him on the Bob Hall the other day.
my sister and I went out to the North Sticks on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and it was horrible. I didn't barely fish, and somebody had left a nice big pile of mullet there. So I'm like, perfect, we've got cut bait. And she flogged the water for a good hour, and she only caught the smallest hardhead I've ever seen, and that was it.
Have you seen
I didn't even get up.
them big balls of hard heads?
Yes,
Yeah.
you put
Yeah.
them. You put them on
and
video.
If you're
at one
gonna
point in
grab
time.
the mic, that's the poppy one.
Did
So,
I grab it?
Yeah. So just grab the base.
I won't grab it.
Yeah.
It's got a short.
Yeah.
It's
Thank-
always been the
thank
green
you.
one, even
To
when
it.
we changed the.
Yeah,
the
give it to
clutch.
Nick.
We need some dielectric grease on that or something.
Yeah.
Just clean it now and again.
Well, it lives in the soul.
You're lucky. Back in COVID, we had to put mitts on the
Oh, really?
on
Yeah.
the muffs. Remember that? We had little hair nets on them.
Anyhow, we hit that El Nino podcast dead right.
Yeah.
And it was spot on. So I'm really interested in the loop current. I'm interested in the rain events we have this time of year, which always ties in with the dirty water. And it's always the loop current, or is it wash out the island? Because I flew my drone this morning, and the behind the island is just blooming. Everything's green, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of water back there still in the island.
Yes, and it will continue to leach out, and it is that freshwater signature that we will talk about.
So when
Here
I
as soon as
start
we,
doing
introduce.
my salinity test,
We're about to
Do
fire
what?
it up.
do I need to cast that thing out that I collect the water in, or do I collect it right from the way?
Collect it right from the
weather
wash.
update.
Okay,
Yeah, be consistent.
yeah, okay.
So I mean, you could do one right in the wash, and then you could go out to the second bar, but do that all the time.
okay.
See if there's a difference.
Except for the big show, you'd be at the second bar being laid out.
I was just thinking, give me a jar and drill some holes and cast it.
No, don't do that. it's a prism basically. You pour water onto it.
All right.
Okay, I'll do it.
It is Thursday, and that means only one thing. That means it's time for Island Moon Live. Welcome aboard. My name is Jacob Boggs. We've got a table of characters here. Nick Meyer, Isabel Tiller, Jay Gardner, Kevin Kieschnick, and Tyler Thorson join me right now. We've also got a bunch of other people jumping in and out, so stay tuned to KEYS, Corpus Christi, 1440 FM and 98.7, 1440 AM, 98.7 FM. They keep switching it on me. I don't know. And on Island Moon Live, if you just go to YouTube, you can go to Island Moon Live and see how a proper messed up radio show is made. We're going to be talking about everything from property taxes to fishing to investments to all other kinds of crazy stuff. It's kind of like a good show finally devoted to the way my brain works.
Squirrel
It's,
cage.
yeah, it's a
Yes.
monkey with a
Yes.
machine gun, as we
Yes,
like to
absolutely.
say. So, Isabel, I want to say congratulations. You just finished your master's defense.
She did.
With HRI. Go ahead and kind of clue people in onto what your study was focused on.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I studied juvenile tarpon and snook nursery habitats, so where they live when they're age 0, first born, to about a year to 3 years old. And we went out and looked for those habitats to understand how those species were doing at that age. And we found out quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, and that really matters because why, Jay?
Well, because we like tarpon and snook fishing, so
Yeah.
we've got to figure out where their nursery habitats. That way, we can protect them and potentially enhance them. And Isabella will talk. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. So, a little bit of history for those of you uninitiated. We had a really good tarpon fishery here back in the 40s and 50s. Port Aransas was called Tarpon, Texas. Fortunately, back in 1958, they built the Wesley Seal Dam to corral Lake Corpus Christi and the Nueces River. That stopped the seasonal pulses of fresh water going down the river that the tarpon and snook depend on. The definition of an estuary is fresh water and protection from predators, right?
Right.
For fisheries. So once that mechanism stopped, our tarpon fishery went away. But nowadays, we do have some smaller freshwater pulses.
Right.
Talk about those.
Yeah, so most of where these nursery habitats were occurring is where people and the sea kind of meet. So drainage ditches, which is like a common place where freshwater from neighborhoods are funneling into the bay, that was a hot spot. Wastewater treatment plants that are putting out freshwater outflow, another hot spot. So they were places that you wouldn't think necessarily as natural or kind of common, but that's where we were finding these nurseries, is where those random human influences of freshwater were
So
occurring.
how strong is the outflow around, like, say, the Oso wastewater treatment plant right by A&M Corpus? That's got to be one of the places, right?
Yeah, yeah. And there's a creek like right next to it where there's fresh water coming from an old golf course.
Yeah.
And so we were
Wow.
finding them there as well.
It's not an old golf course; it's still there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah,
I guess it is being used.
It's Oso Creek. So
Yeah.
and what that flows out into is Mustang Creek, which is just on the north side of the actual wastewater outflow, right?
Yeah.
So there's two little kind of bodies of water in there,
Right.
but the golf course was the one that you found the most in.
Right.
So.
Interesting.
And that occurs in Florida as well. So
Yeah.
the nurseries and estuaries are in the 19th hole.
Well, and I've seen, the rise in snook and tarpon that are visible and that are caught out at the end of the jetties, and both common and fat snook, right? We got country and western snook.
Right.
But as far as where they're growing up, is that back in these little hidden places with freshwater runoff, or how does that work? Is that really it?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. They're in for like a lack of better terms, in the ditches.
Yeah.
That's where they hang out when they're, I don't know, like a couple inches long. So maybe the biggest tarpon we caught was about like 2.5 feet long in these drainage ditches. And then eventually they do move further offshore, like
Yeah, I
into the
was gonna say,
bays, and
once-
then like progressively go out to the jetties. And then tarpon are migratory, so then they do a spawning run along the coast.
How do you catch them?
Oh, we catch these babies with a seine net.
Saying that you block it right off.
Yep. So we drag the net through the whole system, and then capture them, measure them.
What
identify them.
any other kind of interesting bycatch or anything in there?
Yeah, these drainage ditches produce some interesting fish. So since they're pretty brackish waters, like some days we'd go out and the salinity would be 0, and then some days we'd go out and the salinity would be 30. So it kind of, what we would catch would be dependent on the salinities that day. But consistently we caught a lot of blue tilapia, which are invasive in Texas.
Oh no.
Yeah, a
Oh,
lot
no.
of blue tilapia.
Oh, no.
And then in the Oso Creek ditch that we were just talking about, we caught 6-foot alligator gar in the summertime.
Do you see Plecostomus catfish in there too?
We
At
saw
times?
a lot of catfish, and got stuck quite a few times.
Well, I remember back in the day before you had these studies, we would see people that they throw a cast net over there by Ennis Joslin where the creek dumps in behind Roy's, and they'd have juvenile tarpon there. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, that's exactly where they're living.
Right, exactly. So one of the things that Isabel and I are going to work on, and congratulations on your successful defense, and congratulations
Thank you.
on sticking around. So she's been hired full time to continue her research, which is really good. And so we've got plans for Isabel and things that we could potentially do. Obviously, I work for LJ Engineering, and what we're going to do is try to shape some of these drainage ditches. One of the things that you told me or told everybody during your defense was some of the best places had trees kind of growing over them, so they were kind of shaded.
Yeah, and juvenile tarpon especially, and snook too, they'll eat insects when they're very small, and so that the trees hanging over the ditches is like a prime source of
So-
falling insects for food.
And I've seen it. If anybody's been, a longtime fisherman, you've seen the big mangroves in Florida that people are pulling snook out of. We've seen kind of a recent regrowth of black mangroves. Is that appropriate snook and tarpon habitat, or what should people look for?
Anything, yeah, like along those lines. Anything too that's like branching into the water. A lot of these sites had like huge logs and stuff in the system itself. So just like really any type of structure in the water was good. And then that overhanging vegetation. There was plenty of shopping carts in the ditches. So
one of her
and the
pictures was
two-
like shopping carts, and it's like, oh, the tarpon love it.
Yeah, well, like the two sites
all
that
your
we
shopping
caught,
carts in the ditches.
Yeah,
No,
the two
just
sites that we
kidding.
caught tarpon out had shopping carts, and so like that was kind of our ongoing joke. Was like, oh, this site doesn't have a shopping cart. Like,
Yeah,
watch
no.
it.
That reminds me of all the drainage ditches on the south side that have that same kind of stuff, and they can't quite get to the bottom of them because it's too dangerous for the mowers to go.
Right.
But you see all kinds of crazy things in there all the time, including the shopping carts. And my kids have fished over there and caught the sailfin mollies and those kind of things.
Yeah, lots of
Oh,
freshwater
yeah.
species like that too.
Big head sleepers, all kinds
Yeah.
of interesting
So
stuff.
Got
Yes.
how old do the tarpon get before they start their migration through like Corpus Christi Bay and all that? Like what?
Probably since we didn't age them, it's just like estimate on length. I would say like between 1 to 3 years, roughly.
Okay. So they're there a considerable amount of time.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
just like a seasonal and gone thing.
Right.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
also part of your study, this is really exciting too, is that you actually put some acoustic tags. We're all familiar with acoustic tags in one of the tarpon and some receivers out. Tell us about that fun part of it.
Yeah, so we tagged so we captured over the 2-year study, we captured 85 tarpon, I believe. And then 30 of those were tagged with an acoustic tag, which is the tag that puts out an active signal for, it was 500 days, so we could see where it's going for more than a year of its life. Most of that we tagged was in the fall and winter months here, and then they all moved out either timing with like drops in water temperature, so any freezes that we had, they moved either to deeper parts of the bay, because these ditches are very shallow, and then, or they stayed almost year round and then left in the summer months. One fish we tracked to go out, this was in Aransas Pass. It went out down to the ICW, and then we don't know where it went after that. But
It's
yeah.
gone.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Next
it was pretty cool.
Can you identify between the fat snook and the big snook species when they're tiny?
Not really. So in Texas, they're suspected to hybridize the fat snook and common snook, and so I wasn't able to identify anything to species. I just called them all snook. But I took fin clips of everything, which gives us genetics, and so I should be sending those off here soon, and then I can go back into my models and delineate fat versus common snook. Because in Florida and even in Texas here too, there's pretty big like habitat partitioning going on, where one species of snook will use like the deeper waters and the other ones won't, and so it would be interesting to see like what the different species are doing.
So
What's next?
I know snook are considered a sport fish because there's a size limit on them. Are tarpon considered sport fish?
Yeah,
As
the
well? Okay.
the limit here is, I think it has to be 85 inches total
It's
length
something
in order
massive,
to keep.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
even-
you're not
State
getting
record,
yeah.
Yeah, if you get one, just go on Facebook Live and brag there. That's probably your best bet.
Yeah,
Or
then
TikTok.
return it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And so one of the other things that Isabel kind of touched on a little bit, and that I've been writing about in the islandmoon.com, is the ocean estuarine coupling. So, tarpon, they spawn offshore, and they have this leptocephalus larvae. And you actually got a couple of those.
Yeah, so leptocephalus are maybe like an inch long. They look like clear eels, so they look nothing like what a baby tarpon looks like. So tarpon spawn offshore. Those leptocephali somehow make it from offshore into these ditches, which is thought to be correlated with big pulses of water. So like tropical storm activity flushes up all that water, and then these fish, they can also swim, so they can like come back to the place, but that flushes up into the ditches, and then when that water recedes, the prime thing about tarpon nurseries here and especially in Florida is disconnection. So when that water recedes, now larger fish can't come back into the ditches. They have to be like somewhat restricted.
Yeah.
And so then those leptocephali and then the tarpon, as they like develop and mature, are kind of stuck in these ditches. And then once that big freshwater pulse comes in, like 6 months, a year later, then they have access to leave. But we did find those leptocephali, and that was I believe, the first account of leptocephali being found inshore in Texas at all. They were thought that tarpon spawned offshore, but then the spawning grounds were so far away that they transformed into juvenile tarpon and then found their way to the ditches.
It's magic.
But we're finding, but we found them in the ditches, which is exciting because that means like they're seeking out these same places every year, and then transforming and using this habitat for literally like since the start of their life. Till a few
We used to
years
call
old.
those squigglies. Billy Sandifer and I would catch
Oh,
those
yeah?
because the ladyfish have a similar spawning thing,
yes.
and they end up on your hooks in the wintertime. We're like,
Yes.
oh, and the grebes would be like, oh, that's
They were mowing them down,
Yes,
yeah.
those were a good sign for trout in the wintertime.
Right. So that's the yes. Oh, we're going to break.
We're going
Right.
to take a quick break.
Okay.
Hang on. We're talking snook. Tarpon and Snook with Isabel Tiller. We will return shortly.
Mexico.
Hey, have you done any research on
Friends are cowards, we're dressed up, Secchi's in a fire.
We have thought we did.
TGIF, TGIP, don't make no difference, it's the same to me.
Okay. Yeah, we're still on YouTube. So
Right.
mics are on. Yeah.
We'll do one more, and then I'll give my seat to Joey or somebody. Yes. Good stuff.
I had live stream start soon, sitting on YouTube the whole time. That was fun.
John Barley. used
But
to
I think
say
they understood that we started.
Yeah.
New Oasis was alive with tarpon until they.
It was.
killed that. Yeah, they said that was.
I've been
real
here.
monster.
I've been here long enough to remember that we actually used to have agreed order releases, and the tarpon would file in there when it was coming down river.
It wasn't the state record from Copenhagen for years on the largest tarpon.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was.
We still
Interesting.
have a great order releases, but they've killed all the oysters.
We'll let you guys
Yeah.
talk about that
That's what he said. He
in the
turned them
next
on,
after the next segment. Yes.
You know.
We'll tear off
So
into
where do you
that.
want to go when we jump back?
Ocean estuarine coupling.
Okay.
I know that sounds interesting, but what we'll do is we'll land the plane with.
It does, doesn't it?
I know.
Haven't tried that. yet.
Coupling. Done that,
Yes.
done that.
So we'll talk a little bit about these stormwater areas that we just treat them like actual garbage cans, right? Are producing some of the most favorite sports fish along the Texas coast. So maybe we ought to pay a little more
think,
attention to maybe not getting as much garbage in there.
I think a homeless
Maybe we
guy's
should-
beard would make good cover for him.
Probably.
Every time
lay
I see
down
a
there.
rain storm, we see all the plastic cups and bottles
I
and
know.
all that coming out. It pisses me off.
Amazing how
Okay, here we go.
bad we are.
We are back. Welcome back to Island Moon Live. We are here at our Docks Waterline studio on a beautiful Island Moon Thursday. My name is Jacob Oggs, Jay Gardner, Isabel Tiller, Kevin Kieschnick, Tyler Thorson, Nick Meyer. We are talking about ocean estuarine coupling, which is one of my favorite topics.
Yes.
Actually, it's really interesting, and it really means a lot more to the environment and these nurseries that you're studying than people really let on. So, Jay, you want to kind of set it up for her?
Right, and so it's a good question for Isabel. Ocean estuarine coupling is basically the proximity of the passes to the seagrass beds, oyster reefs, and the preferred habitats of these fishes that spawn offshore. Trout, redfish, drum, they all do that stuff as well. But in this case, the closest pass is Aransas Pass to one of your or Port Aransas to your site. So we might want to think about building some of these nurseries a little closer to the passes. I mean, do you think you would get more Leptocephalus larvae and something that was along the ship channel, say we have we build a big desal plant on Harbor Island, and then we put some of the cuttings back into the ship channel.
I don't know. That's an interesting question, because I feel like there's so many confounding factors that make like prime nurseries for tarpon and snook. Like you have the overhanging vegetation, you have the restricted access to the ditch, you have the freshwater signature, you have like some variance in dissolved oxygen, so like other predators can't access it or live in these areas. There's like so many confounding factors that make these places like prime for these fish, because they can outcompete everything and they don't have to have like any issues with prey or predators.
Right.
So I don't know like if it would be better to have it closer to say like the ship channel, because then it does provide like larger predators more access to get in there, versus these ditches then are very far away, but then they have all of those aspects. So it's kind of like a push and pull. And I think the restoration projects that have been going on in Florida for tarpon and snook nurseries have been focusing more on that disconnection piece and like, more like private oasis type of
Gotcha.
areas. Yeah.
And you brought up another good point, which is the dissolved oxygen, right? So tarpon are special because they can live in basically 0 parts per thousand dissolved oxygen, because
Yeah, so tarpon can breathe air. Their swim bladder is lined with, you know how our lungs are lined? It's called alveoli. That's what's diffusing the oxygen like that we breathe in to go into our bloodstream. Tarpon have the same thing lined in their swim bladder. So that's why they fight so hard and so long. And when they make those big jumps and they open their jaws super wide, it's because they're gulping air. And so now they're like double oxygenated. Not only are they breathing oxygen over their gills, but they're also breathing air. And so then at the nursery phase, this is more so vital than that, is because they can seek out genuinely these dirty, no oxygen, nasty ditches and breathe air. And so all the little tiny prey items are still able to survive, but nothing else is. And so then they can really capitalize again on these places that we overlook.
So that's
there
why
are trash
you
to do.
keep pollywogs out, because pollywogs would eat them
Yeah.
all over the place.
Probably.
I would think.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
yeah. So there you go, Facebook people, and on the radio. that is your lesson for the day. So, but yes, ocean estuarine coupling. You know, we've got our Packery channel here. And then here pretty soon we're going to have some other flushing going on.
Yeah. So one of the things that Jay and I and Tyler talked about back in the day was the increase in everything from snook and tarpon, as well as other, beautiful loving creatures like manatees, getting from Packery Channel into the canal systems here. Once we do cut the plugs and have our canals all flowing like they should be, the way that God intended.
Of course.
Once they're all cut and open, how soon could we see an increase of, tarpon, snook, critters like that, manatee, any of that in the canal system here on Padre Island?
You'd probably see I think you would be able to see visually like an increase, because now they just have more access. In terms of like their population numbers increasing, tarpon live for up to 50 years, and it takes them like 13 years to reach maturity before they can even spawn. So I think if we were to like alter or change these habitats for the better, we wouldn't see that benefit until like the next round, which would be in like 15 years.
So if we have a bunch of rain and we've got runoff from everybody's yards, and then we solve all our water problems because City Hall's doing that right now, and everything is all taken care of. Would freshwater runoff or rain, natural, just kind of accumulation of fresh water into the canal system, could that possibly create some, breeding grounds for nurseries for snook and tarpon?
Probably. It would definitely increase like just the amount and availability of it, which could potentially increase that. Yeah.
Especially if we had, little cut-ins, and also if we had like maybe a mile of living shoreline, the habitat right inside the pass.
Creating habitat for them, because not everybody needs bulkheads.
That's right. Exactly.
What's the strangest thing you found in your seine? Because I remember several years back, the Morgan Street Seafood, the guy came in, he said he had one of his purveyors brought in a sawfish, a small one.
Oh, I wish I had that experience.
That'd be
That
cool.
would be seriously cool.
Well, I thought you might find something crazy
Man,
like that.
I mean, to be honest, most of the time it was trash and like needles and
Oh, okay.
a little dirtier. Fish wise though, I remember we caught this like dinosaur black drum that had a shark sucker stuck to it. And as we were pulling the seine, the water was pretty shallow, and you could just see these like huge ripples coming off of something in the middle. We're
You're
like,
like,
what
"Oh
is
my
it?
God."
And it was just this old dinosaur. Like, that was exciting.
Hackery has produced some good snook this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Some big numbers.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
so that, when we get rain, that freshwater signature goes out through the jetties, and the snook love that.
Right.
And actually, in the freshwater signature, it brings in menhaden, which both tarpon and snook like. So it gets the whole system fired up.
Well, the whole system is kind of messed up right now with the cold water upwelling, which is we're going to get to that in the next segment.
Favorite subject.
We'll reach that in about 4 or 5 minutes.
But anyway, so we want to thank Isabel for jumping on and coming
Good
out.
job, Isabel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for your support.
Yeah. So what's next? What's next for you? You're sticking around here, and you're going
Yeah.
to continue your research.
Yep. Yeah, so
Um,
I got hired on as a research specialist in the same lab at the Sportfish Center. And then I'll be leading, I have a meeting about it today actually. I'll be leading part of the statewide nursery habitat efforts that's partnered with A&M Galveston. So
Oh,
they're kind
wow.
of doing the top
Okay.
half of the coastline, and we're doing the bottom
Very
half
cool.
to find more tarpon nurseries throughout the
Yeah.
entire coastline.
And she's got a great team pulled together. She's got Islander Jeff Kaiser and Jason Williams behind her helping out too. So
Nice.
you guys are going to do great things.
So I've heard about a bunch of awesome things coming out of the HRI. Is all this based through the Heart Research Institute?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and is
Center
this
for
through
Sportfish
the
Science.
Center for Sportfish Science and Conservation?
Yep.
Yes.
Which I patted myself on the back for saying that right. Landed the triple toe loop. I thought I was gonna fumble that one and just roll into the water.
Gotcha.
But we're getting quite the reputation down here within the sport fishing community for having the numbers to really start proving why. Well, one, we need to conserve a bunch of these areas, and then two, I know Parks and Wildlife has a keen eye on the research and the work that you're doing as far as helping as far as input of limits go. And then we also have people like Captain Joey Farah, who we're going to have on the radio here after a little bit, who is boots on the ground captain, who's seeing what conservation efforts are producing for
Yes.
recreational fishermen. So that's pretty interesting stuff. That's really awesome. And what are you most excited? We got about 3 minutes left before we jump to another break. But what
okay.
what are you most excited about with your upcoming projects? Are you just excited about keeping it going, or what?
Yeah, I'm excited to keep it going. It garnered a lot of attention and support, and a lot of positive support, and so I'm excited to continue working with the community and with these fisheries as well, because I think if we can continue to keep this ball rolling, then we might see results faster or better. So I'm excited. I'm just blessed that they wanted to keep me and that I can keep doing all this work. I'm excited.
Right. And also, I didn't tell, she didn't study all the spots. So there's some other
You still have
spots
some hidden.
that we may take a look at and accentuate too as well. So no, she actually did look.
We
at
have
those
we
Yeah, I
have
did look
some
at two over there.
we have some
Right.
more in Flower Bluff that we can
But
talk about.
but I mean, speaking of Oso Creek, that's a good one. Like Oso Creek proper.
Yeah.
It goes all the way to Robstown.
Right.
So there's potential there. So
Well, in the Nueces River Delta, because of our water conservation efforts and damming and blocking, we've completely changed the way that.
has turned into a negative
look.
estuary. So where seawater is 35 parts per thousand out at the beach,
Yeah.
it's reaching 75 parts per thousand, and really nothing can live in there except sheepshead minnows. That's about it, right?
Yeah, and this is something that we've basically done.
Well, yeah, we sucked all the water out.
Yeah, excellent.
Short
Well,
answer.
Exactly.
There's no reason to expound on that. So
Short answer is we took the water. Imagine that in Corpus. No way. Island Moon Live will return.
ay ay ay.
Everybody stick around.
Talking about it to my committee, and it was like,
Still see
questions.
right.
That's why I wanted
why
you-
is the model this answer? Why did you get this p-value? I'm like, oh.
That's
Isabel,
why I wanted
thanks for
you-
jumping in.
That's why I
Yeah.
wanted you on like right after you presented because it's just gonna ooze out of your ear.
It's like so nice to talk about it like in a fun way.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
appointment.
It's nice to
That's
meet you.
awesome.
Good deal. Show her, yeah, for sure.
Have you been to Musman's place?
Dale?
He catches. He works.
Dale, who's up next?
Nick, how you doing, man? I talked to I talked to They transferred that. I did a story. They transferred the hit of the Stranding
I
Network
love it when you post it on Instagram because
to
right
the
away I'm like,
States.
shit, I gotta get here.
States.
Yeah, I have to tag you because
Parks and
you
Wildlife.
have a rock star following. So,
I love it.
and yeah, well, it's like we're gonna have to have a radio show. Let's promote it who's on. That way, it's like cool. Because otherwise, if they don't know, like who they got on today.
If you have Facebook, it'd be good. Send it to
You
Facebook
got-
to me. Oh yeah.
Are you too? I got on
Yeah,
there,
send
too.
it to
It's on our Facebook page. We put it up there on Wednesday.
Okay.
All right, another commercial.
What's the surf like this week? Do we know? Really?
2 to 3 foot and brown.
Let's do that at the top of the hour. We'll do a roundup weather, just brief weather and surf report.
Yeah, next weekend is Hooked on Padre. I'm fishing it.
Yeah, is
I'm
it out
right.
of here?
Yeah, with Lynn Dornack. She wanted to cross the board everything last year, so
That's
I'm jumping
awesome.
aboard with her.
Go,
That's
yeah.
the PIBA thing, right?
Yeah, keep a thing. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah, to be like. Oh yeah, I know. I get it. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They tie it in. Yeah. Yeah.
Private sector to be private.
That's perfect.
That's what Kinky Friedman said after he lost. Kinky Friedman after he lost the governor's race, he said, "The constituency has returned me to the private sector."
Wasn't he a star, that guy?
I voted for him.
Yeah, he was a real character, that one.
How hard could it be?
I voted
Yeah.
for Matt Paulson.
How hard could it be?
I've slept a few nights since that election. I don't remember who I voted for.
My
I did
friend,
vote for Ross Perot once.
my friend Robert in Austin gave Kinky $500,000, and I said, "You know he's not going to win. Why are you doing that?" And he said, "I give $500,000 in every governor's race to the smartest person in the race, because the smartest person will tend to do smart things if they're elected, and the dumb person will tend to do dumb things." Well, that makes sense.
He was all over the place as well, wasn't he? I mean, every chat show was happening.
Oh yeah, he used to play the gaff a lot. He would come down here.
Okay, coming on back. That's right, we're back. Welcome aboard Island Moon Live, where we're always rolling in style. And if it's time for you to change the way you roll, you need to go talk to Frank at Discount Motor Company. He's right there off of 6601 SPID, right between Turner's and the movie theater. You can just go to discountmotorcompany.com to see the active inventory, what he's got. Man, he's got fleet vehicles. You need that new F-250 4x4 you've been eyeing. When you drive by SPID, just look over and check out everything he's got at the lot. He's got that and more. And guess what? He wants to buy your car or truck. And he'll pay you $500 more than the big box store across the street. So don't go mess with those guys. You just have to talk to 8 managers and all that. Go see Frank the Bank at Discount Motor Company. Tell him you heard about it on Island Moon Live. Speaking of Island Moon, you can just go to islandmoon.com and you can read issue 1161, which is hitting the stands at your favorite retailers today. And you can follow along a lot of the great stuff we're talking about here. Speaking with Nick Meyer, Dale Rankin, Kim Irwin, Kevin Kieschnick, and Tyler Thorson. My name is Jacob Boggs. We are glad you're here. And now I'm out of breath, guys. Y'all can just take it from here.
Well, we had a couple of news items this Wednesday at the Commissioner's Court. The first one, they have let the contract for the new Briscoe King pavilion, $8 million. They still got to do some tinkering with the design engineering, they call it. In other words, they're over budget, but they'll get it fixed. And so that was the big thing. And the second one was you announced that you're leaving the tax assessor collector position.
Yes, going to go back to private sector.
So you're not leaving until the end of August. So,
August 31st
yeah,
is the
so-
last official day.
So if people are listening for him to go on some kind of crazy irate rant, that's not this show. But
It might
tune
be.
in.
You never know.
Tune in after the end of August. You want that 2 weeks off early, huh?
How long have you been in that job?
Seagulls were laughing at us.
Oh, yeah.
Been there a long time, right?
Almost 15 years.
Wow.
You've done a lot of good stuff while you're there, organizing things and making it easier. The way you have the kiosk going in there now, it's a lot easier than it used to be. Like wherever you go in there and like, oh, you have to write a check. Who's got a check now? You know?
Yeah. Well, paying taxes is painful. We all know that. The only thing that really my office can do, because everything we do is dictated by state statute, is try to make the process easier and quicker, so you waste less. So you waste less of your time.
What's
Going through that
what's the
process.
biggest change you've seen in the job? 15 years is a long time.
We are seeing a big shift to online, and then of course some of the bills we worked on to help spur that along, especially for the motor vehicle. Back in 2017, I got a bill passed that allowed you to use your receipt as proof of registration for your vehicle. So if
Right.
you get pulled over, you've got the receipt. That's proof of registration.
Right.
It seems stupid that wouldn't work, but
Right.
it didn't. So I filed a bill and got it passed. And
So-
then, along with those lines too, Text DMV, back in their infinite wisdom, was kind of not very customer oriented back in around 2015, 2017 range, and they claimed that the tax assessors didn't have authority to waive the $6.50 reprint fee if you lost your sticker in the mail and you never got it.
Right.
I mean, you want to piss the taxpayer off? Well,
Right.
well, charge them for something that they already
Yeah.
paid for.
Yeah.
And so I had to file a bill, and we got that passed too. And it seems mundane, but it's also
Sure.
ridiculous that we had to go through that process to,
What
say
needs
that, to
what's
do that.
what's on the horizon for the next session? You won't be you, but I guess it'll be your predecessor.
Well, next session,
Assessment.
we're going to continue to update on the bill we filed last session for the, and I'm still going to work on this, actually, even the private side. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing. I just want to see it finished, is to make the bill I dealt with to fix the refinery over valuation debacle that almost bankrupted 5 taxing jurisdictions
Yeah.
in the process, to make that statewide instead of just a local option bill.
No big deal.
We're
Well, that was where if the refineries, correct me if I'm wrong, the refineries appeal their appraisal and they pay on the lower amount.
right.
And so what happened is the taxing entities saw the higher amount, set their tax rate accordingly, then the money.
Well, they don't have a choice. They
Yeah.
have to. They have to base it off the total appraise, so it forces the amount of money coming down. So
Right.
So if they were to lower their budget, well, guess what? That lower budget would get hit by that loss too.
Right.
So there was no good fix to
They
that.
got whipsawed.
So I fixed that problem, and then hopefully with the bill we wrote, it's very technical, but with the bill we wrote, we got that fixed. So that way, you don't bankrupt the taxing jurisdictions. If the taxpayer wants to challenge those values, they can still do that
Right.
without crippling the system. And then let's say if they did win for some reason, the appraisal district won, they got all that money, well, then that would actually reduce the rates the following year, because you'd
Right.
get that slug of money coming in, and it would reduce.
Are the
rates.
refineries valued at a good amount, or at the right amount? I've heard they're undervalued for taxes. There was a lawsuit, and it started and stopped, and
That's a super technical valuation, and I'm not an appraiser.
Yeah.
I knew that going from 1.5 to 6.5 wasn't going to happen.
right. So they settled in
Billion
around
with a B.
4, right?
No, they settled it back at 1.5.
Oh.
So which is kind of what they previously been valued on. So that could have been a huge
Yeah.
been a huge hit. But
Right.
that's really not the issue that we were trying to fix. What I was trying to fix is if you had that big value, because we're
Yeah.
starting to see this problem across the state of Texas with the wind farms, and also coming up with data centers
Right,
challenging
right.
these values. And the problem is you've got these big, especially data and wind farms, you've got these big big valuations that are basically the majority of the value in a county.
Yeah.
They go to challenge those. They handcuff those small taxing jurisdictions and can bankrupt them very easily.
And even
Because
if
the way that the system's
there's-
forced to
there's
work
a lag.
within the system. Yeah.
right. So what was the fix?
Well, the fix was to go back to the uncontested value, the amount that they're gonna pay, and then that's what goes into the certified value
Gotcha.
to the taxing jurisdiction. So the amount they're actually going to receive
And
money
if it
on
goes
is what
up, then
is
they
what
just get
is
money.
what they get the budget off
Right.
of. So you can't budget off of something you know you're never going to get.
Right.
I mean, it. So why should the taxing jurisdictions have to do that? So we fixed
Right.
that.
Interesting.
Well, so what made you decide to leave after 15 years?
It's just time for a change. It's
Yeah.
time to move on. I've got a great team, and we've got the person I'm recommending, Krista Champagne, who's my director of property tax, should take over. Hopefully, assuming the commissioners appoint her, and if they don't, they don't. But she's got 13 years of experience in the office. She's been part of these changes that we've gone through and implement, and she's got some great ideas going forward. We're starting to talk about utilizing AI and some of that and implementing those into the phone systems.
Right.
So that way, we don't have enough people to answer the phones during the peak of tax season, but we can't hire that many people only to let them go either.
Right.
And
Hire
have that
'em,
knowledge
train
base.
'em, and then- yeah,
and
exactly.
it makes
Wow.
that makes
Well,
some
just
sense.
get
So we're going to try to optimize.
Just
continue
do like the
optimi-
the IRS and just get some elevator music and just play it for.
Yeah, and we want tax.
Most people will hang up.
A majority of those questions that people call in and asking for, and they're waiting on phone for hours, that can be answered through the AI system. And so
Really?
we're going to try to do that. And then the things that can't be, we're going to make sure it doesn't keep putting you in a loop. It's going to. We had the conference call yesterday, and we're already moving towards this. Hopefully, they'll make sure that gets to a living life human being who needs to really answer
Right.
those things. But the things that can quickly be done,
Right.
it's going to be loaded in through the. They're going to load the Texas Property Tax Code into the AI. And it's gonna
Oh,
be-
really?
Yeah. So it's
So you
it's
can
gonna be a
call
pretty
in and
cool
say,
deal.
"What does the tax code
Yeah,
say?" and AI will figure it out.
Well, it'll get you the right answer because it can get you the legal right answer. But there's some things that can't. But this isn't something that's done yet. This is a project that they're going to be working on, and
Right.
that's something that's the future.
Well, the tax assessor collector's job is one of those. It's kind of like the county clerk. If you don't hear anything, then everything's good.
Yeah.
It's
I try to
only
stay
when
on the news.
when something goes
Yeah.
sideways is never let the
Yeah.
drill sergeant know
Yeah.
your name.
Yeah. Well, you just we address things, and do things work perfectly? No, but most of everything can be fixed.
Yeah.
It's I'm not going to sit there and tell you everything's perfect, fine, and dandy because we know it's not. And I've got 63 human beings that work in that office.
Yeah.
And so there's
get a
63
lot of-
opportunities, including myself, to screw something
Sick
up.
dog,
So-
sick dog
but-
stories.
But we can fix those
Yeah.
things. So people make mistakes, and then they can be fixed, and that's
So the
always been my
tax roll
process.
they're fixing. I talked to the tax appraisal district this morning. They're setting the tax roll here in the next couple of days.
Yeah, so by statute, we receive those on July 25th, and then we start balancing those things. We balance the county first because it touches the entire area. So if
Yeah.
there's not a problem in the county, when we look at those and we start breaking those out to the taxing jurisdictions afterwards, because if there's a problem, and there's you're dealing with a ton of data, there's always some issue that we have to go in there
Sure.
and adjust and fix and make sure everything's not out of whack. And then
So it comes
those-
in. So it comes in. They fix the taxes, the appraisal.
Well, we
It comes
we
to
balance
you.
the role is all we're doing at that point.
And
All
then
we're doing
you-
is making sure the exemptions and everything is in place. It's
Right.
supposed to be in place. The exemptions aren't out of whack.
Right.
The freezes, the
yeah.
the
discounts on appraisal. and all
discounts,
that.
and then those things are taken care of first, and then we send that by August 7th to the taxing jurisdictions, and they can use those to set their levies.
So we're getting into the
So
budget,
budget
in the
cycle.
budget season at the city and the county and all of that sort of stuff. So what are you going to do? You said you're going to the private sector.
I'm going private sector. We're going to be
You're
doing
going to stay in the area?
for a while. The company I'm going to work for is out of Florida, so
Oh, okay.
it opens up a whole plethora of places that I can go. So
What part of Florida?
Fort Lauderdale.
Ah.
I'm not moving to Fort Lauderdale.
Well, I live
No.
there. It's not too bad. Las Olas.
I'm not moving there.
No.
I'm planning on staying in Texas, if assuming that everything works out the way it's supposed to. But time will tell.
Yeah. So the next then the county commissioners will appoint someone to the job.
Yes, they had that discussion yesterday, and I think they're going to do that on July 29th.
Okay.
So they're going to do a little short time frame for anybody who else wants to apply for it. But Krista's certified, and she's ready
Yeah.
to go, and she's touched almost every aspect
It's really
of the office.
it's really a systems management job.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing. We have to follow state statute, and the tax assessor. A lot of people don't know this. The tax assessor is personally liable for every dollar that goes into that
Really?
office until it leaves that office and goes to where it's supposed to. Once it leaves that office and goes to the jurisdiction or the state, because we collect state motor vehicle tax too. Once it leaves there, that's where our jurisdiction ends.
Wow.
But we have over $1 billion with a B that
Wow.
goes to our office on an annual
So
basis.
this position will less likely be partisan with the commissioners, I would think. Well, you never get to.
Well,
I mean,
it
if there's-
should be. I mean,
Unless
unless somebody has a brother-in-law that needs a job.
Well, I was just asking that
Well,
because it seems like it's a systems thing, and a systems person is, I don't care what kind of stripes they have politically, if they're good at that, then
Yeah, and that's why I've recommended Krista, because she's been in every part of this office. We picked her up from a small county years back, so it was back right around the time that year afterwards. So
Okay. Well, it's thank you for your service here in town. We look forward to seeing what your next chapter is going to be. You lived here pretty much your whole life.
yeah,
haven't
my
you?
entire life except for the 5 years I lived in San Antonio, and then I came back. So
Enough. 5 years is enough, huh?
that was enough.
Nueces County Tax Assessor Collector Kevin Kieschnick. Sticking around for at least another month and a half. So time is limited. If you need to get a hold of him for anything, reach out to him. Keep him busy in his final days in his position. We appreciate you showing up for the show, man.
Sure. Thanks.
All right. Stick around. Island Moon will return.
I watch the sunrise atop a sand dune. That's right, I'm one of those.
Do it.
Audrey Island on
Oh, I don't care. I'll tell where it's from. I didn't tell them who I'm working for. So.
Okay. But it's not somebody involved with this water.
No. Well, and I didn't want.
Yeah, the conspiracy people.
Yeah.
I got you.
So.
There is people moving though. There are just tired of the area. The
Oh, I'm tired of it.
the Corpus Christi clowns around the world. They're known as the city council.
Yeah.
Are we on?
I'm tired.
Everything's fine.
No,
My
but they are.
criteria is I'm going to move somewhere that has that
Upstream.
that is where it rains even in a drought.
Yeah. Move
So that means
upstream.
north
Lose-
of I-10 and east of 45.
Dale,
Can
That's the
do.
criteria.
did we lose Joey?
That's it.
I don't know where he went.
Can you make sure that AI hasn't got an Indian accent?
Yeah.
Every time I
was
phone
gonna
them,
say,
it's-
when the county, when I was there, you had to do all the stuff by ADA compliance, all kinds of stuff, and they had forgotten that they had let go of the person answering the phone for the county, and the number was still on the county website. And it was like, how the hell did somebody drop that ball? That was awful.
That
Kevin, you hanging out for a little bit?
I can.
You're going to get
I
running.
love to talk water and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Water releases because
you've done such a good job.
he says Nueces Bay is dead, but it's not dead. I'm in it all the time.
Did you hear about the Netflix? They came out and did a documentary. Did you hear about that last week?
Is that guy that was mudslinger from Houston?
I don't know if it was him, but it was about the chemicals that are in the bay, the fluorocarbon polymers.
Yeah.
And they're in the fish too. And so everybody's all.
I her get with her on that because a lot of that a couple of years ago, Coach Ben Baseline got them to. They dug all the sludge out of Ship Channel and dumped it into Oasis Bay.
Okay, so it was Dr. Mintz that did this, and,
Okay.
and the city won't work with them. Is what
The
I
city has
understood.
nothing to do with that. That was done through Army Corps of Engineers.
Oh no, no,
and-
but
and
the
Port-
bay itself about how there's chemicals in it.
All right. Coming on back. Welcome aboard. This is Island Moon Live here from our beautiful Docks Waterline Studios, hanging out with the trout and the redfish right next to the beautiful JFK Causeway. Nick Meyer, Kim Irwin, Kevin Kieschnick still hanging on, and Tyler, the salty angler Thorson, joins me. If you go to islandmoon.com, you can see an aerial that I took of some kids out at the Texas Surf Camp tearing it up right outside of Bob Hall Pier amidst a bunch of brown water. Nick, we've got a good old-fashioned cold water upwelling.
That's right. It's been a nightmare this year. It's been consistent, and it runs all the way down the beach, all the
Yeah.
way to Mansfield. You know, normally you can find a break in it, but no. I went down Sunday. It was driving was terrible,
Yeah.
and the water clarity was awful as well. That driving is as bad as I've seen. If ever we needed the back road opening, now's the
And
time.
it's all plugged up and has been for a
yeah,
number of
yeah,
years.
they've not maintained it.
Yeah,
at
I've seen
all.
it. The last time I saw it that bad was when Dolly hit in South Padre.
Right.
And it was so bad that it was like I almost got stuck in a vehicle I never got stuck in.
There was four-wheel drives overheating
Yeah.
in the 20s.
Really?
This weekend.
Oh man, in
yeah.
the 20s.
So you can't get past Little Shell?
No, it's from the 18, I would say, to the 30 is four-wheel drive, and you better get moving.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that sort of stuff. You can't beat momentum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got
You can, but putting a shark camp right in the road,
Right,
you can
yeah.
beat momentum really
Yeah.
easily.
the water has been really, you guys were talking about it earlier, it's been really muddy right up to the shore.
Well, and that's about typical for this time of year. I don't think this is anything that we haven't dealt with.
I've
And it's
never
way-
seen it this consistent.
Yeah.
Normally, you'll get it; it'll last a week, and then it clears, and then it comes back in again.
Which is
this is absolute consistent now for a month easy.
Yeah, well, which is kind of weird because a bunch of our fishing patterns that we usually have been off.
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you, they are catching some good sharks on that colour change.
Yeah, you
I
can
think-
get to the color change.
Yeah,
You're okay.
They're running them drones out,
Yeah.
south of Bob Hall. They're
Yes,
dropping them.
clearly not on Padre
No,
Island
no.
National Seashore.
I was talking to one guy who was pulling in a 10-foot plus hammerhead
Yeah.
during the week, and all four of his rods went off at the same time.
Oh wow.
So he said there must have been a big school of them. And then just up the beach, there was a big bull shark I was able to get involved with. That was good fun.
yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
so,
they said they're speaking of Bob Hall, they're getting ready to start charging admission over there. I talked to the county yesterday. The admission shack is done, but they're putting the wiring in. Once they get that done, then they're going to start going back to charging admission. We put the rates in the moon
how
this
much
time.
are they going to charge? Just out of
Same as
interest?
before,
It'll be-
but it's going to go back to the county commissioners before the end of the year, and they may change it. We don't know yet.
Is there going
Yeah.
to be a rod limit?
Yeah, it'll be
I don't know.
$3 per person, $1 for seniors, active military, veteran, and DV. $4 per pole, limit 4 per person, $1 per pole for seniors. $2 cast net fee, $20 72-hour fishing pass with 2 poles. And they are doing annual passes, so you can get a $50 annual walk-on pass, or a $300 fishing pass with 2 poles, or a $400 with 4 poles.
I think
so-
that's what it was before, right?
That's about it. Yeah, yeah. And you know what you'll end up getting is you'll have a lot of people that are sitting up there once the restaurant's all finished out. I almost said a few hilarious names for the restaurant just to kind of throw people off, but then I don't want social media blowing up later. I'll be like, well, Og said it was going to be so. Yeah.
And he said it was
No.
going to be 2-story.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be a black eyed pea or a Frenchie. So
I
don't
was
worry,
hoping
guys.
it was going to be flat with a deck on top, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out like that.
Yeah.
I
But
walked out there. It's a good thing for I mean, there's a ton of people using it, so it's good for the community.
yeah.
Yes, and,
Yeah.
and
It's-
do beware. Driving in front of there has been pretty
Ooh,
bad.
yeah.
I was
I know
over there
that-
dicey, man, and I married out by the hair of my chinny
Yeah.
chin the other day.
Open the door and start kicking.
Well, pretty
Yeah.
close. It had the little
my wife,
camera.
when Jan went down there to take pictures and broke a bone in her foot
Oh.
and stepped off in that soft sand and got a
In the
stress.
snow.
So now she's got a cast on her foot.
There's one thing I recommended to Nueces County Coastal Parks Board Chairman Troy Adler. I said, if there's some way, I don't know how they can do it, but it's like where they give a stripe or something or different colored zip tie for your rods, so you don't have these consistent huge rigs sitting out there for
Yeah.
days on end.
Right.
Because that it's I understand. I like to shark fish and seeing that stuff, but it's unfair for a lot of the folks who want to maybe slide line for king mackerel to they can't get on the end.
I did send one recommendation is they should have life rings out there.
Yes.
Because you've got people jumping off the pier in real
Yes,
nuts.
yeah, not just
conditions.
guys going out to kayak or
They
shark
get
baits
drunk
out.
and off they go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I wonder how much they would charge me to use that as a jump off from with my surfboard. Back in the
They
days, we
used
just
to
had
do
to
it,
run.
didn't they?
Now everybody knows who I am, so I can't do it anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
like,
there's
it wasn't me.
The county's also working on we shot some aerials, rent some aerials this time at the Packery Channel Park, and that boardwalk is pretty impressive.
It's
going
massive.
big.
over
It's
there.
Yes.
huge.
And there will be a free to the public fishing pier that will close nightly. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And they put in over 1,000 plants and trees that'll all part of the kind of bird
Yeah.
migration aid that they're
That's
putting
a
in
great
there.
spot for the twitchers.
Well, they're putting in the living shoreline. They're putting in those little pyramid. I guess they're made out of cement.
We fished those a couple of weeks ago, and they're quite impressive. And you can snag your lures on them.
Are there fish in
Yeah.
there?
Well, it's
Any
habitat.
structure will pull 'em, yeah.
Where are those at?
They're right by.
It's a Packery Channel Park.
They're not anywhere
They're
near
behind-
Gully's house
It's
at all.
closed
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
But they're going to be done by the end of the year. I'm not sure.
They look like little sandbag pyramids.
They got grants. I think it was it $8 million? I may be mixing that. up.
that sounds. That
Whatever
sounds
it was, it was grant money, and
It's going
it's
to
free
be
money.
Well,
Somebody's money.
They've had them in Florida, and they do hold fish.
Yeah.
Over there. So let's see.
It's something that's needed. We've had an issue out here for a long time with the decreasing availability of places where the public can fish along Packery Channel. As more places have filled up, people used to fish inside the 361 bridge. You only fish on one side now. That's happened over the years.
There's
So
a big deep hole right there.
yeah,
Oh,
that
no.
gets some traffic. I mean, I
it's
drive
like-
it every day. And
yeah.
It
What is
goes to like
65 feet?
Yeah.
It's about 35 last
I was
time.
going
went
to
through
say
it.
it was
Yeah.
40 the last
it's
bathymetrical
been
study I
big,
saw.
huge, yeah.
Yeah, 35 foot was the way.
And no way do
It's been a
the
while since I've
sheepshead
been
or
to it,
reds
but-
hang out there.
Jimmy Hoffa might be down
And
there.
man, Tyler and Jay and Roadkill and I were fishing a tournament a little while ago, and that current coming through there is
Holy
ripping.
cow.
Yeah.
Easily 3.5, 4 knots.
And even right there where the Seagate used to be, there
Yeah.
were folks catching a lot of trout there, but they were up real close to the edge because the
Yeah.
current we had was like there was finger mullet everywhere, but they were not getting attacked. They were getting attacked closer to shore.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just a tip.
Well, it's good progress. We did an update in the moon this time of the projects going on the island, and it was the county. Both
Yeah.
of them were the county.
Well, and as we kind
Briscoe
of
King Pavilion and Bob Hall Pier, and now the park.
as we get towards the end of our first hour, we're going to do a little teasing for the second hour on the program. Listen on 1440 Corpus Christi's KUIS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. You did another article about the de-annexation from the city of Corpus Christi. People ask about it every year.
Yeah.
If you tune in on the radio after the KRIS news broadcast, we will be addressing that from about 1 to 2, or just stick around on Island Moon Live on YouTube, and we will get right to that after we take our other little break. But again, want to say a special thank you to Isabel Tiller and Jay Gardner for talking tarpon and snook with us.
We're talking
As
snook.
well as kind of running through a bunch of the other stuff. Kevin Kieschnick still with us. A lot more to get to on that. We're going to end up turning this over in a little, but last kind of minute getting into anything. Is there anything else we need
Well,
to
I
address?
think we should, for people listening out of town, that are thinking about coming down, it's going to be not too hot this weekend. Surf is small, not much reason, not a lot of waves for surfing. Fishing, it sounds like, is okay, Nick.
It's tough on the surf side.
Is
I
it?
mean, because of that water clarity, you're
So if
mainly
people are-
picking up gaff top. If you can get out to that colour change, I'm sure.
So if people are
You
coming
do
in,
well.
maybe the jetties.
The jetties, piers,
Jetties you can go down,
so,
longer ones.
That's the place.
So if
Bring a
anybody's
kayak.
listening upstream, now's
Mhm.
yeah, kayak.
kayak.
of course.
So
Jet ski.
fishing is good.
Oh, and the bay's good too.
Yeah.
The beach driving, the beaches haven't been overly crowded. Since the 4th of July, they were as crowded as I've ever seen them.
Right.
But the last couple of weeks, they're full, but there's places. If you,
Yeah.
if you,
All right.
if you come down, you'll
You
find
go
a
south
place.
of
You-
Bob Hall, there's
You
plenty
heard
of space.
you heard it here first on Island Moon Live. Hold fast.
Look at the juvenile rackle lady.
Hell, I remember we were on 512, but we just got a little too big. Not too big to go out fishing, though. Out by an old rig. Well, I've bounced my ass off that sandbar. I've had tar between my toes. I watched the sunrise atop a sand dune. That's right, I'm one of those.
We did that.
Padre Island or Mustang. I'm
They're
Texas
getting
Island.
bonefish out of the bays.
I've seen a bonefish
Yeah.
cut in half for bait on Bob Hall Pier before.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No,
No, it's because it's like
Bam. All right.
crowds.
I can't stand the crowds, and there's always that
Obnoxious.
obnoxious SOB that thinks he owns the piers. Can't stand that.
I don't fish the piers or
I
jetties.
don't go, no.
I
used
don't
to
like
go when I was younger and go catch
all
Jack's
them
mackerel.
people that talk and breathe.
Oh,
I go fishing
Boy,
and get
isn't
away
that
with
the
it.
See
truth?
a lot more people.
Yeah.
Right.
I
See a
even
lot more people fishing than catching.
yeah,
Yeah.
I even saw a couple of years ago people went as far as to put pier maintenance or jetty maintenance construction signs up just to try and keep people away during redfish runs. Yeah.
I would
It was-
I'd rather be 50 miles down the beach not catching a fish.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what
Well,
I
me
mean?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go down there every year on my birthday, and that's what well, he was here.
Didn't you go down with us?
Yeah.
We went and looked at the Turtle Shack
Yeah, we did,
issue, didn't we? You went-
Turtle
that-
Shack's closed down, isn't it?
They've got a big one there, but I mean,
I talked to
really
Donna the
nice.
other day,
The
they're not-
old one is.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Donna's
Yeah,
under
they
a
said they
lot
could-
of
They
pressure.
said they
Down
couldn't
away from-
staff it, so that it's not open.
We went and fished the neck,
Nicaragua?
about a month ago,
Yeah.
and man, right in the first gut, black tips.
Oh,
Hand over
yeah.
fist. Hand over
Really?
fist, right in the first gut.
All
It was
right.
about a month ago.
We caught a hammer there the other day.
Any word from Joey?
That'd be-
Did he run off?
He's upstairs.
He's sitting there eating some
He'd already ordered, so he'll be
eating
down
some
in a bit, I
calamari.
guess.
Yeah, we'll get him later. Okay, so for the second hour, we just cut it in 4 segments. First one's about 11 minutes. Y'all ready to go?
Yeah.
And welcome back to Island Moon Live. We are here for our second hour. If you're joining us on YouTube on Island Moon Live, welcome. Thanks. We're glad you're here. If not, to everybody, all our radio friends, welcome back. On our show, we talk about things going on Padre Island, Mustang Island, Corpus Christi, Flower Bluff, Port Aransas, and the Coastal Bend, and beyond. Tyler Thorson, Kevin Kieschnick, Kim Irwin, Dale Rankin, Nick Meyer, and my name is Jacob Oggs. Now, before the end of the last hour, Dale, I did kind of tease the article you wrote on Island Moon, which you can check out at islandmoon.com, about de-annexation. That's something that people ask about.
Yeah.
And I think when people say, can we de-annex from Corpus Christi, there's a short and a long answer, right?
Yeah, the answer is about as clear as the water up on the beach.
Yeah. The answer is the short answer is no.
No.
The long answer is no. We really can't.
Well, what I found, which surprised me, I found on the state comptroller's website, they list each time any annexation or de-annexation has been done anywhere in the state, and I found about, I'd say 6 or 10 instances where the Corpus Christi City Council has de-annexed little pieces of property here and there. So they have the authority to do it.
Due to what?
It was, and some of it was the land over in Ingleside back when
Okay.
they had put all that in the ETJ.
They were forced to do that by court order.
Were they?
Yeah, it was.
And so it looks to me like the problem you get into is all the state law refers to the city charter, and the city charter refers to the state law, and so you can't really tell exactly what the process. What I couldn't figure out is whether or not we can petition. There's a section in there which I printed because it's for initiative and referendum. If you get enough signatures, you have to have a majority of the eligible voters, not the registered voters, but the eligible voters in the area that wants to de-annex. So on the island, you're looking at somewhere around 5,000 signatures. Then you turn that into the city, and there's nothing that says the council has to act. They can use a pocket veto, and that's the end of it. And I don't see, it's kind of a rite of passage, right, Kim? I'm sure you get it all the time. People, they move down here after about a year, and then they come in and they go, why don't we de-annex? And you go, well, sounds great at the bar. But
It does. Well, when I first moved here on the street of Cutlass, when Corpus Christi annexed Padre Island,
Yeah.
those owners had a document from the city of Corpus stating that the setback, because the house was built on a setback,
Yeah.
now that it's annexed into Corpus Christi, they grandfathered it in.
Oh.
I mean, there's some of these little twists out
Yeah.
there. But the one who had the best records was Bill Fennell about de-annexing.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
we voluntarily were annexed in by the 1981. We were pretty much all in except north of Packery Channel. because the original developers didn't want to continue to maintain the streets, so they gave them to the city, and so you cut a few corners on the build out and then hand them over to the city. There you go, and that's kind of where we are. And then in 2000, they annexed from Packery Channel north because the city was trying to build what's now the Hilliard Center, and they wanted to capture the hotel occupancy tax money. So there was a race to get to Port Royal, which is about a little over $1 million a year at the time in hot tax. So that's why the city limits were right on the other side of Port Royal. So the answer is legally we could probably de-annex, but the council you would have to have a vote. It would probably end up on a ballot, and the people across the city would be nuts to let us de-annex. Then you get into all the questions about, well, what it says in the state statute is if you de-annex, you keep your pro rata share of the city debt, and then you have to settle on the assets, like all the streets and all of that stuff. And so it would be a long, drawn-out process.
Stormwater,
exactly.
infrastructure, the whole nine yards.
Well, and then we'd be on
you've got to
our-
incorporate and be able to tax it too, so you can start paying for all that stuff because you got to pay for it.
Yeah. And then we'd have to build our own, police, fire.
Yeah. It sounds like I say, it sounds like a great idea at the bar, but in reality, it's the chances of it ever happening are slim to none.
So I've been involved with a little group trying to de-annex a portion out in Robstown, and because the claim out there is that they have not provided services.
That's a different thing.
And so when you get into that, there is a requirement
Yeah.
to provide services within an X amount of time,
Yeah.
or they have to be de-annexed because
10 years.
so forth. So I think they've got a claim, but the problem is the expense of going through that. They have to go to court over it
Yeah.
basically to make it happen. So
We're too far. I think we're too far down range to claim we don't get services.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard enough. Just I'm happy with my address the way it is.
Well,
and then the whole thing would be naming our city,
Yeah.
North Padre Island.
No, Upper Padre.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what's that, fella?
Everybody's bringing back Upper Padre. Man, that's so awful.
Past the Grey Poupon.
Yes, exactly.
Well, you see it in South Florida. We were talking earlier about Fort Lauderdale. As you go up the Florida coast, you go through one little town after the other, and what you get into, we used to go over there and cover police chases, and it would start somewhere down south, and by the time it was over, you'd have 15 little police departments chasing some guy because he went through every one of those towns. And so it is kind of self-defeating. You look at most cities like Miami, you have a metropolitan government, your city and your county government combined, because when the city grows to the county line, there's a real point in
I can see
duplicating
police cars
services.
with smart car police cars, all decked out, cute.
Yeah.
And I can see Nick being the honorary mayor.
So
city.
anyway, I put all of the relevant
Right.
documents that I could find in the Moon so people can read them for themselves, because they're scattered all over the place. There's no one place to go find them all. So that was my goal.
That's funny. So
This
speaking
week.
of addresses, Kim, how are house sales right now? April's article this week is about kind of summer slowdown. We usually see this around now. Is everybody on vacation, or what's the deal?
The market is still off a little
Yeah.
bit. The multifamily, there's a lot more going up on the market. Not as many buyers there. The interior lot homes are still selling, and homes under 500,000. But what I've noticed is a shift in prices, and Kevin knows this because it affects their taxes go down because of sales price. So I noticed what homes used to be right at $1 million are around $750,000 to $850,000.
Yeah.
And so there's been a shift downward. And in your higher end homes, like 1.5 million to 2.25, 2 sales
Really?
that closed.
Interesting.
That
Yeah.
closed.
Are you seeing people coming in building custom homes? A lot of on vacant lots?
Well, John Pope is, with Newcastle Homes. There's a few, and of course on Whitecap Development, and they've got the condo townhouses that they're building, the multifamily.
Yeah.
But I don't know about sales there because I really haven't heard that
Yeah.
something has sold just yet.
Well, our office is across the street from their activity area, which is about to get renamed, but that's what they're building over there now. It's going to have pickleball courts, and they're building the driveway and putting all that stuff in. There's some there's a lot of stuff going on over there that's they're starting to move forward.
I think it's nice with those amenities. I mean, it's just a whole
Yeah.
different perspective. But the general house area itself, it's not like really moving fast, and it has slowed down. And I think a lot of it is you have economic factors. Because I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. If you take 50%, it's stuff out of our control. You know, your interest rates, they think
Yeah.
it's going to climb. You know, we're in the war with Iran, you know, gas, inflation. But then the other 50%, oddly enough, and this is just with me and speaking with other realtors, is what's going on locally. And I think that sometimes people get so close-minded. For instance, say the city council, mayor, all that craziness, is that it does affect the housing. Because if people have a decision to make, they're not going to move here unless they have to move here.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
kind of like, you know.
Didn't you say you had some people call you and ask about if they were going to be able to brush their teeth if we had water for that, and you had to tell them no?
I said,
No, I'm
every
joking.
house closing,
Yeah.
you get 5 gallons of water
Exactly,
from HEB. No, they were asking it
Does that
honestly.
affect the market, this
Yes.
water issue?
It does, and
Yeah.
it truthfully, what happened was at our Mayan Princess, we do our own Airbnb. My daughter April and I, and they called and texted her and asked, will they be able to brush their teeth?
Wow.
And I mean, that's the perception. And the other perception is being called the Corpus Christi clowns. And I'm sure I get hate mail, but I really don't care because I'm telling the truth. Is that it has to be worked better with the city. I mean, it really does, because it doesn't impact just one person, it impacts our whole area.
I'd like to see more focus on the infrastructure, because I've got a business in town, and if anything's going on, I cannot get there in the mornings, and I cannot get home at night.
Well,
That one road
yeah.
in.
The
is
Ted
just-
Mendel Causeway seems to be in turnaround.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have it anytime soon.
It's a work in progress.
The last plan that came up had an option added to it, which was don't build anything. So
Yeah. Well, and
Kevin
Kim,
the
I don't know. We'll see
Thanks,
what
buddy.
happens. It's going to be a long time, I think.
last time we had you on, we were talking briefly about rental house yields, and we're going to take a quick break and get right to that when we come back. Island Moon Live will return. Everybody stick around.
You'll be in.
Have you noticed the lack of mosquitoes?
It is.
I
They've
have. What's
slowed
going
down.
on?
Quick
Yeah.
question.
Guess what they're putting it
Does
down
the
to?
city send
What?
out surveys? Do you rent your property
Yeah,
or
I would
not?
think so.
Yeah.
Do you send those? We do
I-
them in Fredericksburg and in Nashville all the time. We get surveys.
For the hot tax, you think maybe, or
No,
I
they
had
just
no idea exactly
no.
what
They
you
were
said.
they were blanketed mailing from their appraisal district. Do you rent your property? How long? How much for? And I just was going to ask you this like last year. And so we get them in Nashville, and then I get them in Fredericksburg, and that's weird. And I was wondering if that's part of the appraisal process. But we don't do it in Oasis County.
Well,
Sort of
I
focus
understand
it
that.
Okay.
here,
others do.
sort of
Okay.
north of Port Oak, and then it clears up either side.
They-
Mansfield, they're clean south. Yeah, so you
They
go
can
down.
usually tell from how it's titled in some cases, but also.
You sticking around? Or you taking off? You gonna run?
It's hard telling.
Well, hey, Nikki, I got a solution for her Mayan Princess thing. She should just target English clients to come in there. That way, we won't have to brush their teeth.
Yeah, good point.
I love the voice.
Unfortunately, people from the bluff have booked all the rooms.
Well, thank God I'm helping a brother up.
Happy birthday, Nikki. Good to see you back.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Nice seeing you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for your service.
Thanks, appreciate it. I'll see you down the beach.
You bet.
I'm gonna wait for a report that somebody's cleaning up though, 'cause I'm gonna stay in the bay until then.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like
don't
driving
waste your
down
time
there when
running
the
down there.
driving is dicey. It's not fun.
I just saw
Oh, it's
one
not.
on Mission
Last year when I
Oaks.
went for my
wonder if it's
birthday down there,
flooded.
we went down there that time too. My four-wheel drive.
Oh my
It's
God.
turning up well.
That looks
Really?
like dry gravel.
Last 2 years in a row on my birthday.
Well, you know, we're moving uphill.
Always go down there August 8th. It's a decompression trip.
I burned out the transmission doing that.
I got the
That's pretty
transmission
interesting.
overheated twice.
Yeah, you smell crayons, you're in trouble.
Well, the good thing is my
Yeah.
tells me so.
Oh,
Well, I went down there to Jeep Cherokee, and I got in the ruts and started dragging the oil pan. The engine overheated. I'd have to stop about every
Yeah.
2 or 3 miles.
a lot of guys have radiator coolers.
Yeah, my truck has one.
We've got
Yeah,
a radiator cooler, but we were still overheating.
yeah.
And
or
you know
they,
what to do. Yeah, it can
I
get
got
nasty.
stuck down there one time, and I thought my car was going to get eaten by the Gulf. It scared the
All
hell
right. Segment 2, 10 minutes. Y'all ready to jump in?
down at Little Shell.
All right. And welcome back to Island Moon Live. We are here at our Docks Waterline studio. Probably going to get some fried cheese curds, maybe some calamari afterwards. And they always love that. The blackened redfish is delicious. The stuffed flounder is outstanding. Highly recommend it. Come watch a sunset. Tell everybody you heard about it on Island Moon Live. And I'll tell you what, man, it's all about looking good for us down here. And if you need to look good, you need to talk to Ted at Impact Marketing. He's right down there off of 423 Schatzel Street downtown. They do screen printing, embroidery, safety gear, technology, hats, anything you need. He is Corpus Christi's premier promotional products purveyor. You can just go to impactmarketingcc.com and see what they've got on their website. All kinds of promotional stuff, and he is the best in Corpus. Tell him you heard about it on Island Moon Live. So before we jumped off to our last break, Kim, I mentioned the fact that you had brought up rental income is down, or your rental, we'll call it what, rental yield from, vacation style properties, right?
Correct.
Is that so? That obviously is going to have an impact on a lot of buyers.
It really does. As you know, the single-family residential homes, you cannot Airbnb, short-term rentals.
Yeah.
They're 1 month or longer. But because the taxes were higher, and oddly enough, the maintenance fees, I haven't seen so many increases in special assessments for complexes like I had this last year. And it's just probably the cost of doing business, supplies, and so forth. So it does cut in. So a lot of times when a buyer is looking to get like a second home or say that condo by the beach, remember, the number one American dream is to live by water. And National Association of Realtors say the average family moves every 3 to 5 years, excluding COVID. But here it's like 3 years or less. So when you're looking at that rental market, they go in, they drink the Kool-Aid, they look at the figures like we're going to make some money.
Yeah.
After the first year, it's costing money. Now it's not right on, it's a write off. And
Yeah.
then year 2, and then the third year they sell it. So that's what's kind of happened. If you look at the amount of sales over years, and if you look at an average of every 3 years, that's where these units come up for sale. The same with houses on a street. After a while, they're like, what's wrong with this street? There's 6 signs. I go, well, it's normal. It's 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
What happens on my street? They come in bunches.
They do.
Yeah.
They come in
Well,
droves.
Something else, and you've got experience in the hill country, so you know that market well. I saw a video a while ago. This guy was explaining why so many people are leaving the hill country. A lot of people will move out there to retire, slower lifestyle, everything, but then they realize that they're so far away from decent hospitals, the amenities, the specialists for whatever needs they have, and they basically just say, okay, it was fun while it lasted, but now I'm heading back in towards suburbs, Do we see anything like that in Corpus? Are people like, they get down here and they're like, this is too slow paced for me, and we just have an IGA, we don't even have an HEB on the island? Like,
Oh, Dale, that's a loaded question.
Well, I think what I hear is that I hear people concerned about medical care in a certain age group, and especially veterans, they'll gravitate to San Antonio because you have more better military medical care there. That's what I hear. Then, as far as out here on the island, over the years, I've seen people move for taxes.
Right.
The taxes start to, when you're moderate in a moderate house, you're paying $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a year. It's $1,000 a month when it's all said and done. And people just get tired of doing that and they move on.
Taxes and windstorm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the top 3 reasons, just for me or some of the realtors I speak with. So what it is taxes is one of them, divorce or death.
Right.
Or relocation.
Just find a woman you hate and buy her a house.
Well, all I can say, that's
Saves
what,
a lot of trouble, right?
if that's what happens. Then they go to the beach and find a man or a woman in the sand and they're
Right.
in love again.
You don't lose your wife, you just lose your turn. It's a small town.
It's a goldfish
So you just
pond.
wait around.
Jump
Yeah.
in that pond again.
But I do think we have Greg Smith with us. I think windstorm is kind of under control now, from what I'm hearing.
Yes, it is.
At least the rates.
The rates are, and we've got a meeting on August the 4th, and I'm going to bring up, let's drop the residential rates 4%. Now that's going to go over like a lead balloon, but the numbers actually support it. This is the nice thing about it. But since the board is so used to, we don't have enough, when you come in there and say, well, look, the numbers say you do,
Right.
you get that wall.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't think I have a chance, a prayer of getting it this
Right.
year, but possibly next year.
Oh, you'll get the insurance company. We'll
yeah.
we'll be out of business if we do that. We can't possibly survive with it.
And 2025 for the insurance companies was a banner year. They made 22 cents on the dollar.
Really?
So the legislature's aware of that. Quit crying. and for folks out here, we had the John Mintz, who used to retired from the
Yeah, we had him on a few weeks
National
ago.
Weather Service.
Yeah.
There has been no storm hit the Texas coast in an El Nino year. I need to knock on wood. I don't want to jinx that. But
We're coming up on the time of year when we start getting nervous, but I'm not seeing much out there.
Yeah.
We haven't even played chicken with one yet. The only storm we had sprung up in
Started in
Falfurrias.
Falfurrias. Yeah.
That was a good one, though.
Go figure. I don't know.
The type of storms you get this time of the year are typically your MCS type storms, like what we're seeing over the hill country. Hurricane Alicia in '83 was one.
Yeah.
Came off the Mississippi coast, drifted down the Gulf of Mexico, turned into a hurricane, and then hit Houston. But that's typically
It threw tornadoes all over San Antonio.
Yeah.
Alicia,
And
yeah.
you're gonna, and so you're not going to get those long track hurricanes because they're going to get ripped apart in the Atlantic.
Yeah,
And
we've
so-
got tons of Saharan dust. We've got
Yeah.
burning in the Yucatan. There's
Sugarcane burning.
yes, sugarcane burning. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and the shear just rips them apart.
If you want to follow somebody who knows weather, he's got the all kinds of data from those, and you can see the storms forming over the Mexican mountains coming over, and you watch them, and watch out for this one. It'll say this one's really crazy. The
Yeah.
forecast.
Well, our
it's fun to
weather's
look.
been coming out of the San Antonio got hammered, but it's coming out of the southwest.
Yeah.
It's going north of us, so we're not really seeing that much.
We've got a convergence going over the hill country right now, and that's been there for quite some time. It's stuck. And so
It is stuck there.
It is a perfect storm for you've got the inflow, you've got the unstable atmosphere, and you've got all the lift, you've got the moisture.
Well, good. Maybe
And
some of
so-
that water will make its way down here after
Well,
it
the
fills up
Nueces-
the Edwards Aquifer.
Well, the Nueces was running before I came in here at 104,000 cubic feet per second.
It's
So
142 now, Kevin.
142,000.
At La Pryor.
Wow.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
I just sent out a video taken there, and people said, "Is that the Mississippi River?" I said, "No, that's the Nueces."
The one that we don't catch in our lake.
But we're
Yeah.
gonna,
The
we're going to
Nueces
catch
does.
this.
The Nueces does. The where we really need that is in the Frio system, and the Frio has been impressive, but not that level impressive.
It's coming back, I hear. I talked to Yule was in town for this past week. He lives in Lakey, and he said that there's some water back in the Frio.
Oh no, there is. It was coming down.
It's better.
It was
Yeah.
running 52,000 cubic feet.
That's pretty
before
good.
it came in there. That's a lot of water, and
Yeah.
a lot of that goes underground. There's holes all over the place, and it goes in the Edwards. But
Yeah.
a lot of that's going to make it down
And it's
because
already
been
hit,
sustained
yeah.
it.
It's hit Derby, which is halfway down, and at 4,000 or 3,000 cubic feet right now.
Well, it was 200 this morning, so that's a huge increase already.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Derby, so that's awesome.
See the weather nerds?
So Greg, when somebody says to Kim, I'm thinking about buying a house, but I'm worried about the city running out of water, what's her answer?
Okay, like the message I did on Twitter, we need to lower the rates. We need to be selling water. Corpus Christi has obligated $1.1 billion of ratepayers' money that's got to be paid out to add 70 million gallons a day of capacity. How much water do we use in total in June? 95 million. We've added an additional 70 million. And the
So
lakes
then-
are filling up. We got to pay for that water.
Well,
Right.
on islandmoon.com, Dale found Corpus Christi Water presents proposed 2027 water and wastewater rates.
It's coming up.
It's
Ooh.
and they're not giving us a discount, people.
It'll be part of the budget process, I would imagine. But it sounds like we're kind of over the hump.
We are absolutely over the hump. I was at an open house yesterday at Ethel Ireland on there, and my request is get this emergency off. We are not an emergency. We're not going into an emergency on there. $1.1 billion, and that stuff is coming up. Demand is down 40% in June. Quit talking about it. We need to be talking
Right.
about revenue coming in. We need to be watering the grass.
I'll tell you what, you're bringing up a great point, Greg, and we're going to take a quick break. But once we get back, I want you to expand on a couple of things that you just started teasing on there. So everybody stick around. We're taking a quick break. Island Moon Live will return.
Oh, yes. One thing about the medical, and that's a true thing they said, but Kerrville has the best
yeah.
medical, hands down.
Is it Sid Richardson?
Well, they had a problem with the hospital, and that was just
Okay.
a problem, and they got it resolved. And but the medical is incredible, and Kerrville is more reasonable to live in
Yeah.
than Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
It's probably, I'd say, 70 to 75 cents on the dollar
Really?
compared to $1 for Fredericksburg. It's much more.
You know, both
reasonable.
of those are just kind of far out of the cities. They're not. You don't just pop into Kerrville or Fredericksburg.
It's like Corpus Christi. We're at the end of
Yeah.
the world, as my mom
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
Dripping Springs really changed a lot too.
Dripping Springs has gone nuts because they're decking 290. It used to just be a little piddly road, and you had to go through Oak Hills, and you had a traffic light. And I lived out there, and I worked in downtown Austin. And if I left my house at like 7:30, I get to work at 9:15. If I left at 9 o'clock, I'd get there at 9:15. Because of traffic,
Yeah.
you go right in. So now they're decking it. It's under construction, so it's a mess right now. But when it's finished, it's going to change Dripping Springs and Wimberley, and even Blanco. It's all that's.
That used to be Ben White real long, wasn't it?
Ben White now is like Ben White's a freeway. I don't know if you've been to Austin. They are taking down the double deck on 35.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're taking it down, and they're gonna put 12 lanes underground.
That's what I heard.
And the city is going to grow over the top of it, so you're not going to have that split between east and west.
So
Austin.
the original Academy surplus store will be lost
Well,
in the
it was-
shuffle.
It's
around.
already gone.
38th? Yeah.
It's already
It's
gone.
all of they went in there many years
Yeah,
ago.
they've dozed it.
And started doing eminent domain on the east side
Yeah,
of 35.
38th and Hancock,
You drive,
whatever.
you take that lower route, you drive and you look over there, and it looked like Mad Max. There's people living in those abandoned buildings and graffiti everywhere, and now they're all gone. They tore them down, and it's going to start. You're going to lift off at Old Torf, go all the way over the river.
Well, they gentrified East Austin, too.
yeah.
Crazy. All right, segment 3, 11 minutes. You guys ready?
Yep.
Welcome aboard. This is Island Moon Live, and we are back from our Docks Waterline Studios. Nueces County Tax Assessor Collector Kevin Kieschnick joins us. He's around
He's a
town.
short-timer.
Right? He's around town until the end of August. Tyler the Salty Angler Thorson, Kim Irwin, Greg Smith, Dale Rankin, and my name is Jacob Oggs. We don't have cool nicknames. But anyway,
Oggs.
we're glad you're here. And Greg, just before the break, you mentioned that the panic is over, right? I want you to go ahead and kind of expound on that, just for people who didn't hear you explain it the first time.
Okay, we've just coming off a huge rain event, and it's not even over. We're still getting rain in our upper watershed. And the flows that are coming through there are near records on the Nueces. They were, you measure it by gauge height, and it's 4 inches below the world record height at that particular gauge. And as I look at these are Mississippi River type flows. It takes a long time for it to hit our lakes. And so the key question is going to be to go to stage 2 of the drought, we need 30% of our lake levels on there. And then you can start watering your grass on a schedule. Big deal with it. And will we get enough water? We need about 136,000 acre feet. We've got flows going into choke with it. But as I'm looking in this, Kevin, you're a weather nerd too with it. Will we get that 136,000 acre feet? I think we will.
So. I think we'll get there. And I also personally, looking at the data now, has been watching it over the last 2 days. I think Lake Corpus Christi will actually fill to capacity.
Yeah,
and but Choke Canyon will not. But it's going to have a significant impact on Choke as well.
So as we go into the political season, you mentioned you were at a water event last night. You're on the committee, the city's committee.
Farfield, yeah.
I assume that it was a political turnout. Did you have a few city council candidates there?
We had one on there. We had the city manager with it, and so really the big thing for this community, Kim is at the front lines of it. We've got everybody scared. And you Google Corpus Christi on there, and you're going to get water emergency and drought and everything else. We've got to absolutely stop that narrative on there because we don't have a water emergency. We've got enough, the $1.1 billion. They're drilling wells right now. They're putting pipelines in right now with it. What the city is going to be looking at the next year or two, saying we need to sell more water because they're going to see those revenue drops coming on there, and they say, gosh, we've added all these supplies, we've cut down all this demand, we need to sell more water.
To drop your unit cost.
Yeah, drop your unit cost, and that will be next year's conversation. Most people, we've seen so much, emergency, and things like that, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
But that is what we're looking at coming down the line. You got that Mississippi River called the Nueces right now on there.
So will desal get kicked down the road like a can, like it always has been?
Okay, so we've committed $1.1 billion. It's going to come out of the ratepayers' pocket. We've got more water than we need. Do we want to spend another $1 billion? What do we want? So $42 is our average rate right now. They're predicting that rate with this $1.1 billion. We're committed to go up to $60 by 2030. We add a desal plan on that. You're looking at that $60 going to about $90.
What about areas like San Antonio, Austin, or Houston that are in drought that would be those buyers, right? Is that who we're looking at?
I think if we put a desal plan in, the Nueces River Authority went out and they sold desal on there, and they got $4.1 million in people committing without a price, but the price is going to be high. So if we can get a forward-looking city council on there, that would be a possibility. If we're going to do desal, we could be selling, we've got 35,000 acre feet, or about 30% of what Corpus uses in rights on the Colorado River. We could get somebody to say, hey,
do a water swap.
Yeah, you pay for our desal plant here, and we'll give you the Colorado River water. And just think how that opens up this high growth area.
So once we get over the hump, and we got to do,
we're over the hump.
So now we can start thinking about a little longer term stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now's the time to be starting to really negotiate these things because you're in a horrible negotiating position whenever you're
Right.
which we have
have a
been.
gun to your
And
head.
it's one of the reasons why I think we saw that desal plant go up so much in cost is because we were desperate.
Yeah.
You don't negotiate well when you're in a desperate
Yeah.
situation. You're at the mercy.
And that's to Greg's
And
point.
so-
We got to change the narrative, which is going to be hard to do in a city council election.
Well, you can only do it for so long. But
Everybody's going to be crying wolf.
Can't we
right?
send drones at them?
the other piece of that puzzle is those damn releases, though.
Yeah.
You know, if that, we wouldn't be in this situation right now if we didn't have the release. I did a long, drawn out post about the releases a while back, and when the lakes are full, we actually release the entirety of the Lake Texana in a year.
Yeah.
And acre feet required to be released. That's ridiculous.
So it's required by the state that we do it.
That's part of that 2001 agreed
To
order. It
flush
used to
the
be
estuaries.
151,000 acre feet. The agreed order dropped it down to 138, but Lake Texana is 156,000 acre feet.
And to Kevin's point on there, last year we used, the total consumption was 115,000 acre feet. That's how much we actually use.
So we're draining the entirety of a lake plus on top of our consumption. I do think that there has to be some balance there because we talked about earlier about the estuary. You've got to have some fresh water flow in
Yeah.
there. The problem is it's not managed. It's some bureaucratic process that's on paper that is not monitored towards anything. They say it's monitored towards the
Who's supposed to
salinity.
monitor it?
Good question.
TCEQ, I
Well,
guess,
I don't
right?
think that they care. And even there were times, even like in 21 when they were releasing water, that there was no detectable salinity whatsoever in Oasis Bay. That process over the years has happened time and time again. That's the reason why all the oyster reefs in Oasis Bay are dead, because the number one mortality of oysters is fresh water.
Well,
excessive fresh
So
water.
there's your answer, Kim.
Yeah.
There is no problem.
There isn't.
It's
I'm
a-
going to
it's-
put on there is no problem.
It's just it's a narrative issue.
We have to
there.
fix that problem. The problem is excessive releases. We wouldn't, we owe, we're in a drought or deluge here. That's our climatology.
Yeah.
Our watershed is in the Wild Horse Desert.
Right.
It's desert.
Yeah.
And so we're either in drought or deluge. We fill the lakes up during the deluge, and then we start pulling down. But if we are excessively releasing that water, you can watch from 20 to 21. We went through water like crazy, and then all of a sudden, guess what? When the releases stopped at 30%, we just ticked down, and we weren't using like you can see it on paper.
Yeah.
So what about different industries and everybody looking at development down in this area? Are they now, because they operate on 10 and 15 and 20-year timelines? Now that we're through this, does that kind of change how they look at us?
It will. So in yesterday's meeting, I asked him, what's the status on your firm yield? What firm yield is how much water a system can provide in the worst drought of record. And the last time we did that, 2016, we've added all these new supply sources until we get that firm yield calculations done by an engineer, and that's what every water system in the state does. This is your apples to apples comparison. I can sit on the radio, we can talk and say it's over, but the city has to engage and get that done, to go to that step and the due diligence. They've got to be that report. The city has this much water. The policymakers, the council members on there, when they make a decision, they have to know how much water our system can currently provide in the worst of the worst droughts.
And so you take that number and you push it up through the bureaucracy to the level where the firm yield number comes.
And it has
Right.
already proved that we are exceeding the demand on that. And so, the other issue is that the groundwater that they're really relying on is not sustainable.
Yeah.
Especially when you start looking at the subsidence and those sort of issues, we don't recharge our groundwater at the rate that they do up in Houston, where they're pulling it out, and they're having subsidence issues there too.
So over time, you're going to have a
groundwater is really only a temporary solution. It's not a permanent fix.
Right.
Or it's a surge solution. So you go into a drought.
It's temporary.
They've got a 30 million gallon a day capacity. That's what they're shooting for. Putting an RO plant in there, reverse osmosis to take all the salt out. But to Kevin's point, they just completed a survey, the Intera survey, and if we pull 30 million gallons a day, at the worst spots, you're going to have 18 inches of subsidence. That's material.
Yeah.
So you can go in there, and in this
18 inches is a lot.
it's a lot.
Especially if your house is sitting on top of it.
Imagine if the pipeline's going underneath that busting.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're not kidding.
But you can, in the study on there, if you do it for a year or 2 years on there, the subsidence is minimal. So you can use it for surge, but you cannot use it
Right.
for everyday continual.
Well, Kim, you've been doing the real estate business around here for 30 years or so. Have we seen a water crisis like this that's impacted the real estate market before?
This is the worst one.
Yeah.
This absolutely is. It's because of the hype, the narrative that got out. And you can't control it because once it hits social media, which now social media is everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get the narrative out. Right, Greg?
Yeah.
There's no water problem.
There's
Right.
no water problem.
It would-
$1.1 billion, we solved the water
It
problem.
would help if our city council didn't provide comic relief highlights on the internet that doesn't help the situation.
It goes around the world.
Speaking of crazy social media, we've got Joey Farah coming up on the next segment. Taking a quick break. Everybody hold fast.
Yeah, you got enough.
688.
You got the good mic.
Oh, wait
Remember,
till
you got to
get in.
stick your face up there.
Come on, man. It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
So, what's up, brother?
I'll tell Mike Byrne. Huh? Tell my buddy Mike Byrne I was with you today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm in. Always in.
We're here.
You get to see the Nueces River, a.k.a. Mississippi River. now.
I saw some of those helicopter shots of the different places.
It's crazy. We looked like last year, except more so.
So the Frito at Derby
Send
is
it out.
3,900 cubic feet per second.
That record?
With
That's halfway there, right?
Well, that's.
I just went and put some more on upstairs at
But upstream,
fried fish.
Give me some extra large. 41.
Oh, I'm mature. I wear extra large.
Yes,
That's what they call it, maturity. And then you start drinking.
45,000.
Yeah.
In the drive-through. In the drive-through. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
You seem to operate this a little
This new Oasis
easier
that
than
is
the
just
last
off the freaking charts.
two-panel fella.
Oh man. I just try.
They've
It's
been
just
getting a
one
lot of rain
technical
in
issue
San
after the
Antonio.
next, and
That
it's
is
you just learn to
off the
deal with them all.
charts,
But thanks,
Yeah.
brother.
Well,
You picture
All right.
so the rain
you
fell in the
picture
right
3
place.
acres, a foot wide in a square.
3 acre
It goes
feet.
straight up. No, 3 acres.
3 acres.
1 foot wide. That's how much is 3 acres per second. That's what's going through there.
Wow.
That's a crap ton of water.
All right. Last segment, 9 minutes. You guys ready?
Yep.
Let's talk some fishing,
Just
Joey.
light this candle.
Favorites.
And we're back on Island Moon Live. It's a beautiful day here at the base of the JFK Causeway on the upper Laguna Madre. We're joined by Tyler Thorson, Kevin Kieschnick, Dale Rankin, that's his name, Greg Smith, Joey Farah, Captain Joey Farah, and my name is Jacob Boggs. How's the fishing been, Joey? Yeah, the fish get in the boat fried, huh?
The last 2 days has been nice. Been cloud cover and a little break, but it has been hot. And usually after the 4th of July, we consider that kind of like the dog days of summer
Yeah.
because weather is consistent every day, and the fish get in a consistent time period. And it's because they're in extreme temperature right now. Just like in the dead of winter, we're in extreme heat, so
Yeah.
they have to, for survival, head towards cooler water where the tide's moving. They have to get on a schedule, a lot more night feeding during those nighttime minors and major lunar feeding tables. So they're on survival mode right now.
All of
Everybody
this-
else is in party mode.
All of this Mexican smoke must confuse the daylights out of the fish. 'Cause
I'm a
sun
one-eyed pirate
doesn't-
here lately.
The sun doesn't come through.
No.
You notice a real difference in the temperature.
Yes.
When that stuff is here. And
It's like a microwave.
A couple of days ago, yeah, I could really tell the difference. It looks like the wind is kind of blowing it out now. I'm not seeing it like I have the last couple
So
of days.
you're expecting kind of consistent traffic with the fish all the way through up until the kind of breeding season starts in fall? You think they're kind of stuck on this pattern now?
We're in the dog days. It's repetitive. It's easy. It's easy to to figure out where they are and put a pattern on them. When things change is when we start getting our tropical depressions in the Gulf, tropical pushes. And then what that does right now, we've just ended the migrational period where all the fish come in, they feast, they spawn, they hatch, and they start to retreat. And so the fish that come in and do that spawning, some of them retreat back to the tidal zones. Here, where we have daily current, the jetties, the ship channel, just the intercoastal, or maybe like in the back bays, it might just be out to deeper water, but they retreat to the tidal zone, the cooler waters. And that will stay persistent. And then when we get this flush of water from the Gulf, it brings in the species that live offshore that come in and lay eggs. So it's another spawn of like threadfin shad or sardines or glass minnows. It's things like that we don't really have in our hypersaline environment, but those fish come in and do their thing and then take off.
How's
So
it-
we'll have that.
How's the fishing in Baffin? Have you been down there?
I have, and it's slower.
Yeah.
It's slower right now because of that migration of fish into the Laguna Madre where the water's got more oxygen. And we do have 2 levels of, in the last few years when we have a low tide, everybody just in a day and a half goes, where all this brown tide come from?
Yeah.
And then a week later, it's gone. What it is, it's in layers in the bottom of Baffin. And when it's an extreme low tide, the bottom layer comes up and heads this way and floods us with brown water. And then we get a sweep of flow from the Gulf. It comes and goes, settles
Well, usually
down
in
the mouth.
August we have nice water on
Yes.
the beach. That's
And
usually.
we usually get a good push from the tropics.
And now,
you know.
and maybe if we ever get our canals open, we'll get water in there with.
Yeah.
That'll help the fishing
know,
in the canals.
when they opened it, it didn't take very long at all for us to see movement from the jetties, Packery and the Gulf, into the first 5 or 6 miles of the Laguna Madre. It
Yeah.
really created a circulation. Those fish flooded to that area.
We have
and
16 miles of canals plus what I think it's another 2 miles at Whitecap NPI. So somewhere around 18, 19 miles of canals, and right now they're plugged.
Yeah. And that's an ecosystem all to itself.
Yeah.
It rotates with the tidal fluctuation and everything else. You look at the side of those cement docks, it's like a coral reef.
Yeah.
There's life all over it. And there's nobody can deny how many monster mature speckled trout were in the Padre Isles canals the winter after they opened up that bridge.
I see them in the lights.
But
I'm
that
in
particular year,
I'm
was
in the
phenomenal.
way back. I'm in the way back
Yeah.
part of the canals,
Well-
and my neighbor has a light, and I saw within just a few weeks after the canal opened, I saw more fish in there.
Yeah, you
And
think
then
it's
they
a
close
nice.
it.
You think it's a nice red, and you're like, wait, that's a trout.
Yeah.
I saw some people. Oh, here's my backyard companions, and you look down. There's 3 monster snook hanging out under their dock.
That's
the
awesome.
problem is the snook are so smart.
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
feel everything with that dominant lateral line that they feel you coming down the stairs to check them out.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, no, when they were
Oh, yeah.
first digging out Packery Channel, they had one of the dredge barge out there, and my buddy and I went down and dove underneath it, and there were probably 30 to 50 3-foot plus snook just sitting under there chilling. And we were like, oh, we found them, man. This is it. We threw everything in the box at them, and they just giggled. They're like, nah.
Even with them plugged, I've seen at Complete Foundation Repairs, we're doing that ceiling joints.
Yep.
And with the tide down, you're like, God, it's way down there. And you'd see spadefish, big trout, big redfish over, particularly over closer to like the Laguna, like the ICW, because you got a lot of circulation there. But there's, huge
Well,
fish.
I'm excited about the plugs getting pulled and us getting some water back through the canals, getting fresh water through. Not just because I'm a professional manatee observer with on the team with Jay and a few others. And
You have
Lily.
your certificate.
Exactly. I've got a family of manatee observers. We're ready to go. We got shirts and everything. And Dale's a manatee wrangler.
I'm a wrangler.
Official.
I got a saddle.
Yeah, well, and Greg and I have talked about, our business concept once they open everything and they have everybody at Whitecap NPI, how Venice has their canals with the, everybody's on the boat singing. Instead of like pushing with the gondolas, like we'll have old John boats and Greg and I will play guitar and sing old Willie Nelson songs for you, give you a Lone Star light and
I
paddle
think
you
I saw
around
those
the
guys over
canals.
there at the ski canal
Yeah,
on the 4th of July.
black and white shirts.
No, I'm excited about tubing in the canals.
Yeah.
Once we get some established patterns, we'll have a couple tubing events.
Like
I
the
saw some
horseshoe.
whitewater rapids over there at the Gypsy Bridge when they first opened that pass.
Like the horseshoe on the Guadalupe. So Joy, if somebody's coming down this weekend from out of town to fish, where should they go?
Well, when you come down from out of town, most people just follow the boats.
Yeah.
And that shuts down the fish right away. When all the boats are going, you have one boat fishing, another boat stops. Once there's 3, everybody stops. Get out on your own. You look for mid-depth water, 3 to 4 feet in the flats, especially if you're going to be drift fishing. So you come down, you go, am I going to throw bait or am I going to throw lures? Or, maybe both. But you
Yeah.
can't do both at the same time most of the time.
Right.
So if you're going to go bait, croaker fishing in the morning along the deeper drop-offs, changes between 3 to 5 foot. You'll notice those deep drop-offs in the Laguna Madre along Emirates Hole. Or do the smart thing and stay in the intercoastal. Fish the edge of the intercoastal with live bait, big wide gap hook with a leader and a small split shot. Catch some trout, then retreat to drifting. Mid-morning, we get our consistent winds. That's when drift fishing's the best for redfish. They're hiding up under that thick mat of grass. Right now, we had a real fruitful spring, and our grasses have grown up to their peak level, and the manatee grass takes over all of our sand pockets. So instead of really concentrating on looking for sand pockets, look for that thick manatee grass. It's that stuff that grows almost all the way to the top. This morning, we made 2 drifts, had our limits of trout plus a bunch of others, and we caught them threading the needle over the top of that manatee grass with soft plastic. So normally we use 1/8 to 1/4 ounce and keep it low in the water column, but with that, there might be 2.5, 3 foot of grass out there. So burn a smaller jig head, an 1/8 or 16th ounce over that grass.
Stay behind the island if you're coming down for the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, Nick said you can't fish on the beach because the water's lousy. So
Yeah.
stay in the Laguna Madre.
Jay predicted that upwelling months ago, and it finally hit. So the first 500 yards at the beach is brown and cool, but the fish are still there, but they can't see anything, and those are optical
So
predators.
fishing is good if you're thinking about coming down. Surfing, you might want to check the surf camera.
Oh
Yeah.
Before you
It's
head
not
down.
My
that great.
addiction every day.
Fun
Yeah.
for the little kids, though.
Yeah.
It is, and for old kids too. Just get a bigger board. So the beachfront is great fishing right now. They're catching a lot of whiting and small drum and stuff in the first two guts. Get some fish
Boy,
bites.
the
and
winter
field
Texans
shrimp.
love those whitings.
Oh yeah, and if you got kids, have them on the
Yeah.
whiting. Take a whiting and have some cut bait. Cast out. You probably end up catching a little small bonnet head or black tip. You catch one kid of shark, you're a hero forever.
Oh, that's great memories. Oh, well, we are very happy and say thanks to all of our friends joining us: Isabel Tiller, Jake Gardner, Nick Meyer, Greg Smith, Joey Farah, Kim Irwin, Dale Rankin, Tyler Thorson, Kevin Kieschnick. My name is Jacob Oggs. That was just a lot of people. From all of us at Island Moon Live to everybody else, we will see y'all next Thursday. Until then, keep it on Island Time.
I can quit most babies, but I can't quit you. I owe you, woman. You know it's true. You gave me 6 brand new strings to sing the blues.
Oh, okay. So you've got some actual.
I get a little saltwater and live on the lake.
Okay.
And it's one of the lakes you can actually have a boat docked and walk right down your house.
Yeah, you can.
I found
Island Moon Live, so don't go yelling at
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What about undisclosed lake? Woo! Undisclosed lake.